Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tom Broderick. I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Very much appreciated. This project that we have behind us, and in front of you and behind me, started about 2.5 years ago or so, I guess, in the planning. And as I said at the time of the groundbreaking, what we were wanting to do was continue to improve the quality of life for our citizens here in the community. And while quality of life means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, most of us agree that having great recreational opportunities for young folks to be able to come and enjoy, and for families to get together is also a great part of that. And so one of the things we looked at, I've always been a big proponent of parks, and one of the things we looked at is what it is we could do with our park system to continue to improve it. And over the last 7 years or so, over 20 parks have had substantial improvements put forth during that period of time, but none as great as this one here. This particular park, which is known as May Park, it's May, not Mays, but May Park is named after James May, and James May was a businessman here in town, and in 1961 he donated this property to the city of Anderson. In fact, he used to have his homestead here behind me a few blocks back. It was his home that later burnt down, but Mr. May owned a local supply plumbing company here in town. But he felt so strongly about his community that he wanted to give back by allowing the community to have this particular property. And as some of you will recall, years and years ago, this park property included a skating rink across the street that had a real ice skating rink, which was well attended for a long time. It had a first-rate tennis court that was used annually by some folks in our community who put on an annual tournament. And then it had some other park amenities that folks, the basketball courts were down here, and others that everybody enjoyed. But over a period of time, all that stuff got worn out, of course. And so we looked at this, and this is one of the parks that really had been neglected for a long time. And so we looked at what we could do to try to bring it back and put something new. And as you know, the city of Anderson has never had a splash pad before. Other communities in the area have, and they've been very well received. And it looked like something I thought that we would really much enjoy if we could get it here. So I began to speak with my controller, Doug Whittam, and Doug, who's done a great job for us. I know he's here today. Doug helped us figure out a way to come up with some funds that would be able to do this. I then got with our park department and with our superintendent of the parks, as well as the park board, and they agreed this would be a great addition to the community. And so with their efforts and with the efforts of the city council, which approved the bond that was issued on this, we were able to put this together. And the cost of this project, just to give you an idea of what something like this costs, is about $2.5 million. So it's a major investment in the community. The good news about that is that the way we were able to do the park bond, it really didn't cost us any extra outlay of funds year in, year out than what we'd already been paying. Because several years ago, they floated a park bond to be able to do improvements at Shadyside, which was done, but the bond had not ran out completely yet. So we were able to basically refund that bond. The money that we had already set aside on an annual basis to pay for it was already existing, and we were able to move forward. Had we let that bond lapse, then that bond would have went away. The opportunity to bond in the future on that would have went away, and that would have basically been absorbed by other parts of the community through the tax caps. So in the end, it was a really smart way to do it. I appreciate, again, Doug's efforts on that, but it allowed us to put the money that we needed into this project. In addition to that, we also wanted to improve the sidewalks around here. And part of the money that we'd set aside was for the sidewalks immediately adjacent to this park, but as you go down towards John Street, there wasn't enough to be able to take care of those sidewalks. So what we did was we got with our community development department, and Leila Kelly, and Leila's here, and Amber Lewis is here, and those guys worked together to be able to help bring about some community block grant funds that we use to be able to finish the sidewalks, which makes for a complete park and a complete great amenity. And as you can see behind us here, we have everything from the splash pad to the tennis court and, of course, pickleball. Any pickleball players here, by the way? There you go. They've been waiting. But pickleball, as you know, has been a great new growing sport, and so we thought it was important to put this amenity here as well. And then on top of it, we put shelter houses on either side of the park, along with restrooms on either side of the park. And we did that in order that the little kids most likely will play on this side where the splash pad is and where the playground equipment is, and they won't have to cross the street if they have to run to the restroom. Same thing on the other side. The adults can stay on that side and play the more adult activities, and they won't have to cross back and forth as frequently. We've also changed the direction of the street to a one-way in order to keep it safer for the folks that are out here playing. We're going to continue to monitor that and see how the traffic flow goes, and hopefully it'll be well, but if not, we'll take some other action if we have to. But we're very pleased about this, and I want to thank everybody that's not just come out here, but thank particularly the folks that played a significant role in that. And again, one of those folks one of the entities was our park board. The park board is a group of folks that's appointed by the mayor, and they have been nothing but exceptional over the last several years that I've had the privilege to be able to serve. And so I'd like to bring up at this time the president of our park board, Betty Williams. Betty? I think it's almost better to hold it.
Thank you, Mayor. How wonderful. How exciting. What a day to remember. Come on, let's hear a cheer about this day. All right, we need that. On behalf of the Park Board, and I will take just a minute to recognize the members of the Park Board, Randy McVeigh, Kenny Davenport, and Jack Kiesling. Thank you all, too, for all your work and all that you do for the City of Anderson and the Parks Department. We are now here at this beautiful state-of-the-art park here on the west side of Anderson. Again, Mayor, thank you. Thank you to the Park Board members, Superintendent Donovan, Tom Tackett, the engineering team, the construction team, and everyone else that was involved with this project. Let's embrace this park with pride and assurance that it will provide many years of quality of life for our children and adults as they share fun-filled memories here at May Park. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Betty. Betty does a great job, and thank you again to the Park Board for not only everything you've done there, but being here today. And Park Board's always available to step up anytime we need them to, and we do appreciate that. I'd also at this time then like to bring up our park superintendent. I had the occasion, I don't know now, it's been 2.5, 3 years ago. Time flies, right? Especially during COVID. And I had the chance to be able to talk to Jama Donovan, and Jama had made herself available to be able to come to work with the city and become part of the team. And she joined us, and I was so happy that she did that. And we've been able to put together a lot of programs. In fact, she'll probably mention a couple of things we have coming up soon as well. And there's some materials over here that you might want to get as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jama Donovan.
Thanks, Mayor. Oh, what a labor of love this place has been. What a vision that the mayor and the controller's office, the park board, all the park staff had for this location. I remember when we did the groundbreaking, the thing that I always thought about May Park was that it just hadn't had an identity in such a long time. It was the place where people went ice skating, and then it became the place where they had the tennis tournaments, and then it kind of just sat idle for a while, and then we had the skate park. So this area was well ready for such a beautiful park and location. This project also introduced me to the love of pickleball. Who knew at almost the age of 50 I'd want to be in some kind of recreational sport where I travel around. But thanks to those pickleball people out there for helping me find a new good habit. But I'm so excited. This playground is the first playground like this in the state of Indiana. It has really creative ways for kids to go and interact and play on that. So I don't know, I'm in love with this whole process. It was a great process. It was a great learning process. Working with Corey and Jonathan and Andrew and Tackett I felt like we became family. We were meeting so often and coming up and tackling issues and things that we'd have to overcome during this project. And it's here and it's beautiful and we're so happy for it. Like the mayor said, we're doing lots of programming. We do have a calendar over here of a lot of projects that we have coming up in the parks this summer. We'll be releasing the concert series relatively soon, maybe next week or so that people can start marking their calendars for that. So thank you for coming out. Thanks for being a part of this. Thank you for being the community. The Parks is so proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Jama. And I just want to note that among the crowd out here today are many of our department heads, the city of Anderson, our police department here, his fire department, all the other various departments in the city. We have about 21 departments in the city with a little over 600, close to 700 during the summer season, numbers of employees. And the folks that are here are the leaders of those teams that if it wasn't for all the work of the city workers, we wouldn't have the things that we have. And I just want to thank not only the department heads, but all the workers in the community for everything that you guys have done to help make Anderson a great place to live. I also would like at this time, you know, when we did this project, we obviously need to reach out and find professionals that knew how to do this type of work. And so we called upon some folks that we've utilized in the past that we have great relationship with, and it's the engineering firm of HWC. So I'd like to give you Jonathan Smith with HWC.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Truthfully, this park wouldn't be what it is without all of your vision and you just leading the charge, because at the Onslaught, there was a variety of design ideas and just vision of what this park should be, right? So we kind of took that and ran with it. So I just have to say that I'm just truly proud being a member of the design team and being able to take your vision and bring it to life and what it is today. And I think in just a couple weeks, you're gonna see a lot of people out here with their families picnicking, and hopefully we'll see the splash pad come on today, and we'll get to enjoy that in the next couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I was at an event earlier today, another ribbon cutting, and in fact, our chamber CEO is here as well, Clayton Whitson. Clayton, thank you for your team being here. And he had mentioned that this was going to be going on, and I invited everybody out. I told them, bring your bathing suits and your sweater. So, no, this weekend's supposed to be a great weekend, and you know, we didn't want to open this in phases particularly. Because it's such a neat, facility. So I wanted to get it all open at one time. Obviously, the kids jumped the gun a little bit on the playground equipment a couple, 3 months ago, which you can't blame them. And I know the pickleball folks wanted to climb the fence, but they were afraid they'd get stuck, so they didn't. But now it's going to be open for everybody to enjoy, and so that's really what we want to do. I also want to thank Fredericks Incorporated. I don't know if there's any members. Is Andrew here or anybody with Fredericks? Andrew, you want to come up? He can do it. This is Andrew Brinks. Andrew is with Fredericks Incorporated, which is, of course, a local company here. And I know in addition to the work they did, they also brought in a lot of local subs, and they've done a great job. And so I just wanted to recognize Andrew. But Andrew, come on up and give us a little insight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we're a local contractor here that we've spent a lot of time working for the city of Anderson, and when this project was available to bid, it was a high priority for us to come in and try to get the work. So we were able to do that, fortunately, through the bidding process, and working with the city has been tremendous. So Jonathan with HWC, Jama and Tom with the city, especially Mr. Ikes, you're back there, I saw you. Appreciate all of your effort in helping us put this together, and when we needed an answer on how we were going to do something, you guys all jumped in. So from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate being a part of this community and all that you guys are doing to make it such a wonderful place to live, and look forward to hopefully continuing to do this in the future.
Thank you, Andrew. Very much appreciated. If you don't know, the water splash pad behind us is set up on a recycling system, and so instead of bringing water out every day and going down the drain and running down to the river, this will recycle and clean, which will save a lot of money. It's really the state-of-the-art way to do things, and so we were really proud to be able to get that done. In addition to that, the splash pad is on a timer, and so it's set up that in the middle of the night it can't turn on, but during the normal hours it'll be able to be activated. And if a kid comes up and wants to play on it, there's a switch out here behind me that You only have to go up to it to activate it, and then the paddle will run for a period of time. And then after that period passes, it'll go off, but then you can simply trigger it to come back on again. But that way, when kids are playing and they leave for the day, it'll turn itself off and obviously shut down the electrical part of it. We didn't talk too much about the playground equipment other than the fact that some folks mentioned it is sort of state of the art, and it is. When you get a chance, go over and check it out. It's got a lot of safety features to it to make sure the kids that play on it are safe, but it looks like something that came out of the 22nd century or something. So it's pretty cool stuff, and as you can see in the background, kids are already starting to enjoy that stuff. There you go, first one in Indiana. So we're proud of it, and again, I want to thank everybody for taking part in all this today. What we're going to do now is a couple of things. I want to mention again that we have a few things over there if you want to look at some upcoming events for the parks. As Jamin mentioned, we are going to have our summer concert series again this year, and that will kick off in June, and it'll run through the first part of October down at Dickman Park for the most part. Definitely come out and check that out. But what I would like to do is I'd like to ask, I also want to note, I know some of the council folks, I'd seen Joe Newman earlier. I don't know if any others are here still. Again, they were assisting us by voting and approving the bond renewal. So I want to thank them for that. I also want to note Representative Terry Austin from State is here. Thank you, Terry, for being here. She's been a part of our community for a long time, does a great job representing us down in Annapolis. And again, I want to thank our good friends at Anderson TV that they're always here to help film these things for history and help get stuff out on the Anderson TV channel for folks can see what's going on in our community as well. So again, what I want to do now is ask the park board members and Jama and Tom Tackett, the rest of the park crew, and also our engineering folks and Fredericks folks to come on up. We'll stand here. We got a little ribbon we're going to cut to sort of commemorate this, and then we'll go ahead and hopefully turn on the splash pad. All I'm going to do, I'm going to ask everybody to help us count it down. 3, 2, 1.